Okay, starting to make regular deposits with the financing. Investing $7,000 every 6 months. So as soon as I see that, I'm into my calculator app. Okay, so every 6 months she's putting in 7,000. So the payments actually need a negative. And compounds per year, if you're doing it every 6 months, that's twice a year. That's payments per year. 2 payments per year. 4.7 compounded monthly, so that's 12 for 15 years. Now this is not 15. If you do 15 years making 2 payments every year, you end up doing 30 payments. So now the previous value, we start at 0. So we go to apps, finance, TMV solver, 30, 4.7, typing in all your info, 0, negative $7,000. And then this is 2, and don't forget that accidentally changes that. It just does alpha solve. So 30, 118. So that's the end up, what we end up with. How much interest did you earn? So we ended up with this. What did we all put in? So we put in $7,000, but don't forget we did that 30 times. So that's how much money we put in. So what we ended up with, what we subtract what we put in, and that's the interest that we've earned. Okay, next question. Deposited the same amount every 6 months. So as soon as I see that, I'm doing my app. As soon as I see regular payments involved. Okay, so every 6 months you're making a payment. So payments per year is 2. 2.9%. Compounded semi-annually. So compounds is also 2. Ended up with $12,000, so that's the future. The previous value is none. And 4.5 years, and you're making the payments every 6 months, means you're going to end up doing it 9 times. What's our payment? So our app, 9, 2.9, $12,000 is the final, 2 and 2. So alpha solve on the payment, $1,257.85 is the payment every 6 months. That's what you're going to do. Okay, buying a house. So buying a house, you are going to be making regular payments. Okay. $375,000, but down payment. So on the start here, we're going to already have to put 12%. So $45,000 is our down payment. So on the first day, that's how much money you got to take out of your pocket. Which means my loan is going to be the subtraction of that. So I only need the bank to give me this much money because I had 45 of my own money. Regular monthly payments. So payments per year is 12. 25 years. So for 25 years, we're doing that 12 times. If you want, you can put 300, or you can just do that. 2.8% compounded semi-annually, so that's 2 on the compounds. Okay, the future of this, I need it to be 0. So what's the payment? So $15.28 and 4 cents per month. Okay. how much is this house going to cost them all together? So the costs, you're paying $1,528.04 every month for 25 years. So I'm not going to use that as a number. I'm going to go apps, finance. I'm going to activate my payment onto my screen. And there it is. I'm not rounding it. I'm going to times that by -1. So that times 12 times 25. That's how much money I'm spending in payments. Now don't forget, you also spent that much money. So we're going to have to add that. So that's your total cost over the long haul. How much interest? So the interest would be subtracting the original amount. So 128. So this is what the bank would get to keep. That's what the bank makes off of you. How much interest will be paid on a loan? $4,000. Interest compounded quarterly. Okay, so I just seen compounded. I don't see any regular payments. So this is the compound formula. The loan is $4,000. There's the interest rate compounded quarterly, so 4 for 6 years, and I'm doing it 4 times a year, so that's going to be an exponent of 24. So I'd be typing that in, $4,000, 1 plus the rate divided by 4 to the 24. So this is the cost at the end. But the interest, so that's the final. So the interest is that I take off the original. So that's the interest. Okay, Damon's purchasing a new computer, $1,800, 2 options here. I heard regular monthly payments. So there's my regular payment app. Okay, so it cost him $1,800. Option A, we have a 13.2 interest rate, compounded daily, so $365, with an immediate $75 rebate. So that means it's off of my price. So instead of having $1,800, I'm going to have $1,725. He wants to pay off his debt in 2 years by making regular monthly payments. So monthly payments, 2 years, so that's going to end up being 24. We wanted this to be paid off, so 0. What's the payment going to be per year or per month? So the app, 24, 13.2, $1,725 because we got the rebate, 0, 12, $365. So each payment's going to be $82.23. Which one is cheap? Which one is the cheapest possible monthly payment? Okay, so a monthly payment, so I don't need to do any more. Option B, well, we have a 12.4%. Compounded daily, so that's the same. Regular monthly payments was still the same. We obviously still want to end up with 0. This time we don't get the rebate, so that has to start at 18. And I think this will be the same because we're doing monthly payments for 2 years. So what's the payment on this option? So a lower interest rate, but we don't get that immediate. So what's the payment? $85.12. So option A is the lower payment. Okay, Roger buys a car, 18,500, puts a down payment on it. Okay, so I already know making a car purchase, I'm going to be making payments on it. Okay, so my previous value is going to be 16,000 because I put that money onto that. So now I only need this much to borrow. 3.9%. 3 years with regular monthly payments. So that's going to be 36. Regular monthly payments per year. Our interest was compounded monthly. The future of our loan is 0. I guess I'm going to figure out my payment on this purchase. So I'm into my app, 36, 3.9, 16,000, 0, 12, 12. So each payment's 471.67. That's my monthly payment. So let's figure out how much this car cost us. So each month we did this. We did that 12 times a year for 3 years. That was a cost. So I'm going to go finance, get the payment on my screen, get it positive, timesing it by 36. So 16,980. That's how much money I'm putting on my pocket during my payments. But we can't forget we also spent that 2,500 at the start, right? So this is how much I ended up spending for the car. Okay, so the car should have cost that, but I spent that. Okay, now at the end of this 3 years, we're going to sell our car. It depreciates at a rate of 20%. So 18,500 is what it started with. So the next year, it's only going to be worth 80% of its value. And then the next year, it's only 80% of its value, and then 80% of that value. Okay, you could also think of this as 1 minus 0.2. So that comes out to, at the end of the 3 years, your car is worth that. Okay, so you cost you this, but you got this back, because that's what you got back into your pocket. So we can subtract those values. So the out of the pocket, subtract the back into the pocket. So at the end, I'm going to come out with a cost out of the pocket of $10,008.20.